Terminology of King James. Elder Lawyer, I highlighted it. I need you to read, starting with under the law of Elizabeth.
Yes, sir.
King James and Queen Elizabeth, two black people. They were black, the black nobility of Hebrews. Guess what, folks? You rarely hear this information. This book has nothing to do with witchcraft. It has everything to do with the laws that were being executed from the throne to rid England of all witchcraft, using the word of God to highlight what people should be trusted. See, you cannot trust a witch. You cannot trust a witch. Let's read it.
Yes, sir. Under the law of Elizabeth, anyone who bewitched another without causing his death was subject to a penalty of 1 year in prison.
1 year in prison if you did witchcraft, but you didn't cause death. If it was found, that's right, that person would be what? Thrown in prison. Read 1 year. Come on.
The law of James made the same crime punishable by hanging.
But no, King James did it another way. He says, no, my mother put you in jail for 1 year. If we find you doing any level of witchcraft, death or not, as a result, you're hung. That's right. We see you peddling potions or selling drugs because that's witchcraft. You were hung under King James administration. Read.
Minor infractions such as using divination
to
locate stolen property, making love potions.
You're making love potions, or people coming to you and asking, well, my mother passed, or there was some property someone took from me. Can you give me some insight to where we can find it? Even if it was for a good cause, witchcraft was punished. When I say a good cause, some people go to witches and warlocks to find out who stole something from them, right? And some people might think, well, that's good. No, that's not good at all. Why? Because you are talking with a familiar spirit who requires something after the information. They don't tell you about this, that when you go to these people and leave out of the house, that spirit follows you. That spirit cleaves to you because you asked for it. That's what they're not telling you in witchcraft. That's the piece that these witches and warlocks don't tell you. That once you go and sit down with the diviner and sit with them and agree with them, the spirit you went to ask for answers, and they'll give you answers. When you leave out that door, that diviner don't care because she conjured the spirit. She know that spirit will now attach to you and cause chaos throughout your whole house. So you went there for a good reason. But that spirit doesn't stay there with her. That spirit leaves with you. You asked for it. See, and this is what King James was talking about. He says, no, you can't even use your witchcraft for good because when you call a spirit, that spirit isn't dealing with the rules of man. That spirit follows the person who asked for it and cause chaos in their lives and death in their lives. Folks, they should have told us this a long time ago. Horoscope readers, tarot card readers, all these things. That's right, astrologers. They were killed under King James administration. Now you know why they use witches. Witches, folks. Now we understand why they put black witches of our community over the whole Black Lives Matter campaign. So that we can connect ourselves to their color, not realizing there was an agenda to destroy all of us connected with that. Come on, let's go.
Yes, sir. Minor infractions
Hold on, let me go back. Go ahead. Minor infractions. Come on, where you at? Where? Right here? Right here. All right, the water, Lloyd. Come on.
Yes, sir. Minor infractions such as using divination to locate stolen property, making love potions, or damaging property such as laming a cow or causing hail to flatten a crop in the field were still punishable by a year in prison and a term in the pillory, as they had been done under the old law. James caused it to become a felony to invoke any evil spirit.
It became a felony to invoke any evil spirit. Read.
Or to have any dealings with an evil spirit.
Or have any dealings with an evil spirit. It was a felony. This is real crime that King James is up against. Why? Because if you get in front of it, it doesn't affect the community. But if you allow drugs, potions, evildoers, African spiritualism, if you allow all this stuff in your community, it destroys it inwardly, spiritually. Hence the reason why the conscience of the community is against the Bible. What? Come on.
This meant that to keep a familiar spirit in the form of a cat, dog,
in the form of a cat or a dog,
rabbit, or any pet was punishable by death.
Was punishable by death. That's right. Witches would conjure up spirits predominantly to use in cats. This was their reconnaissance. That's right, reconnaissance for their neighbors. To use the cat's eyes to surveil the neighborhoods. Town watch for the witches. Come on.
The devil was thought to mark those with whom he had a pact. To be found to have a witch mark anywhere on the body.
If you have a witch mark anywhere on the body. Now, folks, unfortunately, some of us have, not myself, but some people have gotten tattoos. This is known as a witch mark. A mark of someone who dealt with a familiar spirit, where the spirit came into you and said, you will look nice with a heart on your calf. Everyone's doing it. But the mark of a witch or a warlock, and the occultists knew this, was tattoos. Tattoos. Right? That's right. This is why the occultists, when I was growing up, we all knew that tattoos were directly attached to the occult. Demons and spirits connect with familiar spirits or those who are marked in communication with them. Read.
To have a witch mark anywhere on the body was also enough evidence of consultation with an evil spirit to be punishable by death.
By death under King James. If you were found with tattoos back then, because that was a serious marking of those who crossed over to the occult, they were put to death. Read.
Hence the vigorous questioning by the courts about familiars and the intensity of the search for the witch mark.
Come on.
The statute of James made it a crime punishable by hanging to, number 1, invoke, consult, covenant with, entertain, employ, feed, or reward any evil spirit for any purpose.
To reward any evil spirit for any evil purpose. I see these people running around talking about blackness, and guess what? They pouring out libations on people's graveyard, and you don't even realize this person is riddled with demons. They're telling you that they're connected to evil spirits. I mean, what else do they got to tell you? Not to support them or get away from them altogether. They're publicly pulling out libations on graveyards. And our people are listening to them for information and insight. You don't know a warlock when you see it? Witchcraft is a threat to our people. Witchcraft, sorcery. Read.
Number 2, take any dead body or any part of a dead body for use in any witchcraft, sorcery, charm, or enchantment.
Using a dead body for sorcery and enchantment. Another example is when people donate their body to science. You don't know. Guess what, folks? They're doing a lot of stuff with those bodies. Read.
Number 3, practice any form of witchcraft, enchantment, charm, or sorcery in which any person is killed, destroyed, wasted, consumed, pined, or lamed in the body or any part of the body.
Read.
Number 4, aid, abet, or counsel others in any of the following or any of the above acts.
So you aid others into the evil activity. Read.
The statute also made it a crime punishable by 1 year in prison to use witchcraft, enchantment, charms, or sorcery
to do what?
Locate any treasure of gold or silver in the earth.
To locate any gold or silver or treasury in the earth. So it doesn't matter the reason you're doing it. If you were found doing it, read.
Or other hiding places. Locate any lost or stolen goods or things. Intend to provoke any person to unlawful love. Destroy, waste, or impair any chattel or goods of any or of another person. Attempt without success to hurt or destroy any person in the body.
In the body. Now, what scriptures was King James using to justify using the law, the government, to come after evil? Come on, Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir. Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse number 9.
Come on.
When thou art come into the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, thou shalt not learn to do after the abomination of those nations.
Thou shalt not learn to do after the abomination of those nations. King James wanted us to know the law. He died. His family died, preserving these records. The same records that a lot of our people are taking for granted. These pagan Christian churches, they're not defending what King James died for. They following the wizard. They are following the wizard. The same man who was responsible for what? The same people who are responsible for toppling our last throne in England. First of England, sixth of Scott. King James was a black man. And we're teaching the same doctrine that was in place before they destroyed King James. This is the true doctrine. Come on.
Verse 10. There shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or that useth divination, or an observer of times.
Look at that.
Or an enchanter, or a witch, or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer.
Everything that King James, all of these is what King James put laws against. Straight from what? The power of his government. So don't tell me you don't have the power through government to get rid of wrong, crime, evil. You have the power only if you what? If you disagree with it. Understanding the end result of it. They know what witchcraft does and how it destroys a society, and that it actually aids and abets and actually it gives fuel to crime. They know that. Because this is how they let spirits loose all through the community. And we wonder why our people, can't tell their head from a hole in the ground anymore. Our community is riddled with evil. By allowing witches and warlocks and evildoers, sinners and perverters. The only thing they would have to do is go to college and get a degree to be respected amongst us. And it's a shame that we're not really vetting these people. The only thing they have to do is go get a piece of paper and say, yeah, I'm respected. And no one has done a spiritual vet on the Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that he used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew